Hi, my name is Sarah, and I'm going to be doing my video here for assignment 2, which is the teacher ID and pedagogy. So I was talk, give you my input for each of the questions so that we hopefully that'll clear more about what my teacher ID is and more how we will style my classroom in the future come. So the first question I'm going to talk about is what motivated me to become a teacher in the teacher. So for me, teaching it has to be more my mindset in the beginning of my early years, because like my thing was a generation a teacher, so they've been more depth in this case like to feel like such as biology, music, even elementary in this case. But the issue is because I did grow up where I live in a black community where there's not a lot of representation in this case where there's a black male teacher in the classroom. So and mostly because Louisiana is more like a popular area where we have more female population demographic. I've been more teaching with different females teacher for different backgrounds or different culture say. So it was a little more hard to get into teaching all that while growing up in this case. But I think where I got to eighth grade, I think this is where it had actually changed my mindset of becoming a teacher. So during eighth grade, I was taking math class. One of my teacher, who was a black male teacher named Mr. Williams, was teaching eighth grade math. Yeah, he wanted to work with a partner school that's kind of like the middle school too. So I was attending Romer Middle School, who he partnered with for high school in this case, and he partnered with one of the coaches to school who was teaching after one in the same time. So he decided to bring the course to our middle school to my class. That's because it was combined with another math teacher classroom. So like it was now integrated to where now all of us were going to take eighth grade math along with Algebra 1. So this was the first time I was taking like a high school course along with eighth grade math course. So I was getting more like the dual side course route in this case 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 where both of them in this case where one was focused on eighth grade math, one teach Algebra 1, or they both will work together in this case. And I think it was kind of interesting to see how both of them were teaching and working together to where be able to not only learn the content in a better mindset, but also like be able to work together in a vibe where not only we can work together to help everyone understand more about the concept in eighth grade math, but also anyone as one. And I was studying more in the courses faster, so where not only I was helping my classmates, I also got interested a little bit in theory at that point. And not only that, I had the ELC for as one in this case, and got high school credit for leaving middle school in this case. So I think from or my view for starting from leaving middle school and going to high school where I got into more of a higher level math courses. I think that built my motivation to become a teacher because I have a good middle teacher who helped me got through a math course, but also like was a good role model of how you want to push students further to their student in their academic steps. Hmm. So the next question is, what led me to this program and urban education? So the reason I kind of joined Student Teacher Alliance, but also to do urban education, is because I want to be able to share my knowledge with math with the next generation of students, but also be like the role model of those students who want to see black belt representation in the classroom, but also serving in historic or school urban classrooms where it was just like either segregated or just like not getting the benefits or the opportunities for students to grow in the mindset, especially in communities that have more color in this case. And and I can explain this journey a little bit more better in this case. So while attending LSU, I was doing coursework for Go Teach, which is another teaching certification course pathway for undergraduate students in this case, and I was doing it for math in this case. However, because of my practice scores, or LG did not let me continue to finish out my co-teaching experience with student teaching, and that kind of helped me either graduate, right? So they had to change my concentration around to where it was more in the discipline of computer science. So I was still able to graduate, but I just wasn't able to finish my certification. And they told me like, come back, you should be able to come back and do it for a master's program. So, but it also kind of felt like they were not helping me in the first place because the whole point is you want someone to become certified to be able to teach the schools, but also want to motivate students to actually participate in the program. So I decided to look for other alternative teaching programs that might be more outside for LSU standards, but also like see like what other programs can do for me to help benefit my education experience, but also kind of like feel like help me finish my certification, but also help me improve in the classroom, you know, for better what they could in this case. So I started to apply a little bit more on the other teacher literacy programs, so like Methods Teacher see the Generation Teach, all the GSE, but they kind of rejected me because of certain things like the limited number of seats, or this is what they're not looking at the time thing, which is like kind of was I shot in the foot because now I didn't feel like no program would accept me, or just like they could not see me as potential other potential candidate to where they will I be able to serve in their communities in this case. But when I look up City Teacher Alliance and learn a little bit more about it, I feel like I was aligning a little bit more with their stance is because A, they were more working with underserved schools in the urban state, especially in black communities, where that work from that becomes hard because uh, a true hard place because I grew up from underserved schools. I definitely seem like I wanted to be able to make a difference where not only for not for these students are not going through the same experience I have, but also like be able to get them my knowledge on how to go through these struggles or challenges they may see in this case. And through further interview process, talking to a program manager, I got interested in a little bit more to see what the CT Live program is, and then did my interview with them, and I was got accepted into the program in this case. So not only I got able to be able to join the program, but also like be able to work with them to help else our background. We were scared to get my master's degree, finish my certification, but also start working with a place of school where I can help contribute back to my community, but also contribute back to the schools who had those historic segregation issues, or just like the exclusion, or just like unnecessary issues they are dealing with today. Okay, next I'm going to talk about what's the purpose of school. Cool. And this is kind of like a general on multiple questions you could ask, like, what is the purpose of school? It's different interpretation. But for me, the purpose of school is to prepare students to become the future leaders of society, be more innovative to where they can want to make changes in their community or pursue what they want to do for career-wise or what their goals is. We're basically just helping them reach their potential where they can achieve something in their life, but also like getting them to that push or drive to where they can start making these changes, like helping them make their communities better, helping foster new changes for the next generations, or being new innovators to where they bring new technology, new things to the world in this case. So it's like it's our goal for us to work in schools to make sure like they coming from giving them the necessary skills to help benefit for their future careers. But also we want to make sure school is a safe environment for them because like they come into schools where they not like for some students they're not coming from school communities where they're coming into communities where they're not used to, and then like the culture and environment vibes is not always going to be comfy and pleasant. So like you always want to make sure schools are equal and they are building those relationships with their classmates or their teachers, and this is expectations in the classroom where who the teacher wants them to see in the classroom. And I think you also want to make sure students are, especially as they go through this deeper stages of school and their academic experience, be able to teach them more skills, like especially when they go into college, like how to plan for the future, like and make those financial decisions, know how to manage money, make a budget, how they would handle those tasks where they understand the difference between wants and needs, and making sure students are understanding like they are students and teachers have to be able to respect one another. Like I said, like you don't want teachers to be so disrespectful to students, and students it cause be a student not even want to be involved in the school, but also participating in classroom, and then you don't want a student make a teacher feel some kind of way where they can trip any type of emotions where it could bring harm to the students, but also bring harm to the teacher itself. So it's more understanding you all have to be open more about identity, culture, background. Everyone has come from different sources or different viewpoints or certain topics in their communities or what issues they are in. So I think it being open and transparent is helping them everyone's get the more I understand like we all want to be equal and we all want to understand it, but that starts where we be having an open mind to understand a little more about ourselves and what others have to go through. Understand more what others go through. Okay, so the next question is to talk about what does good teaching mean to me. So good teachers have, so this basically means you have to means that teachers are able to demonstrate and explain concepts and skills through different learning styles that fit each student's need. But it's also more on respecting students' value in the classroom where students feel like the teacher cares about them, respecting them, and learning more them to help build those stronger relationships in the classroom. It basically more the idea of can teachers have to demonstrate to help know how to get students engaged in the lesson. So like using like icebreakers or attention grabbers or be able to here's to help just to make sure, sure, they can get the students back on track with the lessons in this case. Hey, and also teachers have to be able to show good teaching by able to manage their class around the like infrastructure in this case. Like you can't just be teacher and like deal 24 different kinds of disruptions, disruptions in the classroom because it will be hard to try to micromanage all of that, and then you have that will cause more of the flow to be less likely to stop. So always have yeah, yeah, like I say, if you draw more students at the same thing, you really put your classroom in more risk of not having to just managing how to deal with disruption, but also avoid those that kind of will push you situation not be able to, where your emotions start to get tied up, but also like or you might not be able to control your classroom at that point. And teachers should be will want to make sure students with disability have accommodation and make sure they have necessary tools to make sure they get to get through their learning in this case. And good teachers always have to make sure they have to get involved with the parents in the community just to make sure like this they are making sure their students are learning well in the classroom, be able to figure out what students are having more problems in depth, or just making sure like keeping accountability. Like to say like you always want to build this good system, the accounting system to make sure like you keeping up with this, letting students keep up with what they need to do in class, but also making sure like you are informing the parents just in case like it's something concerns about the students, just making sure you reach out to them, just help them figure out what to do because they and their parents want to make sure that we have a vibe for the students to come see. So it's basically just making sure we are professional, but also making sure we know how to teach our students well to where they are successful, but also be able to understand like in our professional career they are we will be we'll have the mindset sorry in our professional they will have to be prepared to just notes out just essentially have to be able to be according and then like handling situations where you have to be able to work well with others in this case. So the next question is who do you believe you will be as a teacher and what do you hope to bring to education? So for I just would be a role model to students in this case to be like a support for them in the classroom, but also support anything outside the classroom. Because like I said, like because I want just to be able to help guide students in the right direction of what they want to do successfully in the schools, whatever they want to do for career resource wise, or how to tackle challenges in the real world. Say in this case, I also want to make sure students are also reaching their potential. So like reaching what their goals is and not let anyone tell them like they cannot do anything or feel left behind. Hi, because like because I get so many stories that people are not being supporting students, people are not helping students to their potential, or just like they want to get up in the morning, they just don't like. So I just want to be there to help them to support them in their exercise study, but also just like anything what they want to do in the future wise in this case. And I want to show students that I can lay some stuff in my past struggles that will help them understand like you're not alone in this case. Hey, if I finish something you're going the same thing, I want to be there to help you and give you my point of view and my advice on how you would handle the situation and handle it in a better track than what I could do in time in this case. Case. And what I hope to do is one bring more resources to students like not only help them benefit their studies, but also like bring technology into their learning. So like bring ways they can use technology to help benefit from their stages is like using presentation, using software, coding, ways that will help students get up there rest and not only understand the concept a little bit better, but like get them more interested and more stuck career, like especially if they have more love in technology and hates. And definitely, I want to just give them advice, especially like knowing how to prepare for college, knowing how to build those resumes, improve process in those final decisions, like give them more like the life skills, tools they need to help prepare them for what they hope to come in the next step for the next few years in their academic experience. Hey, now I'm gonna talk about some of my most memorable school experience. So these are some have five, so I'm gonna keep this like short and simple the best I can. But like please keep in mind, he's still studying a little bit, so like it might take a minute to just explain each one. So the first one is just basically like for my sophomore year, I had a straight English teacher saying he was more since I was taking course, however, he would just not have all that being essentially saying like, oh, we were freshmen coming in, now we're in sophomore now, no, still immature. So like he already had like the freaking something like we're gonna be still immature, still gonna have so like he was trying to be a little more strict us in this case, and he tried to threaten us by having the police involved, but that's kind of the same like that made us so uncomfortable going in the classroom, but like also like we have to be on guard, knowing this teacher can do anything that can put us in worse tense to where we're not gonna even pass sophomore year in this case. Hey, I just feel like that did not help build a strong relationship with us in this case as students because he was so strict or just like to want to be protected on himself in this case. The second experience is just me taking upper level high school math course in this case. I had two teachers that helped me with that. So like one teacher who I was coming in a freshman, and who was my younger teacher was so kind to me in the classroom because like I was in a class with upper level with software students. So like not being in the classroom with my fellow freshmen peers was a little challenging, but like she made something where not only I was able to understand the material a little bit better, but like she was more checking in on me, just making sure like I was doing good during school, but and even outside of school, cause like she also met my parents. So that was the first experience like to a teacher like not only care for well-being, but also like she was looking out for me and just letting my parents know what's going on. And then I had another math teacher who was teaching Algebra 2 and advanced math, also discrete math. She was like this whole specialist in the math part in this case, for when I was in high school in this case. Hey, and that she definitely pushed me to where I really do like scholarly things. Like so I did district rally, state rally. She also got me about no she also gave me more practice with being like a tutor, just like be able to work with my fellow classmates who were struggling in the course, but also like anytime she was out during that time, I was able to help them at them while she was going on accident in this case, and she got me involved with band club and national science, so I was definitely more helpful. Glad she did this to me to where to try new things, but also like step out of my comfort zone a little bit in this case. The third one was not a good one too because this is the same teacher I had for after 2 years of advanced math. She left during senior year. She promised me like to make sure I'd be able to take calculus, but also like she wanted to make sure to make up the issue like I took advanced math honors, but she didn't realize I should take advanced math AP, so I got my college credit early junior year. So she was trying sure I get those two college credit in, but because she left to go to another city, the school was trying to figure out how to get calculus in, and one of my math teacher here for senior years was trying to get that approved for the school, but like it didn't went through because the fund was not approved or approved for the course us to take. So I was left with no option to earn both credits in those courses. So basically I was done with my math courses by the time senior year approaches in this case. The fourth one was when I was attending LSU. I was part of the EPO National Society of Leadership Success, where I work with our board members to just restructure the organization, our organization, restructure the organization, so just making sure our members can make their goals, where their parts could be inducted in the organization, create our organization constitution where it highlights our expectations, rules, and policies for all our members, including ourselves as EPO members, create new positions for the e-board, and then like giving free activities for our members to enjoy, and also Also to have that break between classes, all of that. And fine for me, the last would just be for tutoring. So I basically was during the time I had for tutoring, especially for working for LSU and work for the center, because I also apply what I learned in classes, so practice from, from using the practice I learned for teaching strategies and then like the practice practice from say. And so basically, it's applying what I learned from the go-to courses is just understanding the teach new strategy a little bit better, but also just practice it more in the tutoring environment, but also getting to see how students work different from my point of view because I always learn different from math in this case and learn different from math. So like getting see how they work out and then like getting my input on how I would solve it just help me see like there's a connection where they have some idea of the concept, just not a little more push in the right direction in this case. And then like giving them resources and tools to help them improve their understanding in the specific material and of course they're covering, so like making sure like giving them features like Khan Academy, like YouTube videos, or maybe just like referencing stuff like forums and stuff, just giving them more to help them benefit, understand the material a little bit better before they have to take or the exams, or just like any other course they need to take that relates to the content they're taking. Alright, so now to pick which ones I will leave behind in the class, leave behind for step in the classroom, but I'll also talk about which ones I'm gonna bring in the classroom in this case. So the ones I could bring based on the five I thought it'll be the second, the fourth, and the fifth. But the second one's kind of more serious, like that because like I can link to this one, and this is where I also learned from Lowe's class, Dr. Class about for the BRC. He was to just build the classroom relationship and practice courses in that pretty much, and she went over like the no nutrition model. So like model like just giving clear direction, like clear precise direction and positive narration, accountability systems, and then in that building relationship. And I think that was kind of like the idea of my two teachers did that model exactly just to make sure like just give me clear direction, just give me the narration, just make sure I account for what I do in the classroom, and then just make sure to just build a relationship between me and my parents, all of that, and then for my number four, or organizing the class, organizing the organization kind of give me more practice, like how I will organize my classroom a little bit, like restructured to where if something does not feel right or something that does not work, it always just changes to see like just try different things to just make things work in the classroom, but also make sure anything that works, I can use it again in the future. And then my theory is definitely a number my third one, because that would be more with just providing assistance to students. Like anything, if a student needs help or additional help, I can always offer them my office hours or offer them the material sessions. So like just giving them more our idea of giving them that this assistance, just making sure like they have that support in their after this and all of that. And then my little leave behind is just number one and number three, because I do not want to um be definitely don't want to be someone who be too strict on their professors. Well, too strict my students in this case, because that be on the idea of being a negative controller, and that's not something I want to do. Be too strict and then not valuing them as a person in this case. And then the third would just be letting students that are forgetting problems. Because like as teachers, you have to understand, because if you're promising your students something, you always want to make sure, especially if they're coming for help or just not need someone to listen to, you have to make sure you understand, like if you're gonna commit to the teacher, you have to make sure if they give you your wishes or just telling you something, you have to make sure you fulfill what you could do, or just making sure like you could do it in the best way you can to make sure it's not letting the student down, or just like they cannot trust you, because that will not help build that relationship. But also like you'll be hindering more the process of that student with the student at the time going. So now we talk about what is important me as a teacher. So the important part for me to be a teacher is students being able to take away something they learned in the classroom. Even though students learn concept and skills from the lessons, this where teaching is important to make sure students understand what they learn when able to search for their solutions in the policy if they can master this area in the correct fashion. And the reasons for this, because you want them to know how to do some of the solutions, but also can they actually apply it to real life. Say, so like if they're doing something with let's say you do something with parents, like you can just with art in this case, and then doing something when with like rap and stuff, like you can do like stuff like budget, all that. So like related stuff to real world applications where they have more idea of what they need to do in this case, but also understand how to do it in this case. Like you don't want students to feel like they feel confused or there's a certain skills or problem they're not gonna and they feel like they don't know if they're gonna use it or not in this case. And then then try to get them to meet the standards school before you want them to take the state exams in this case. So making sure like they understand in this case, but also you want them to make sure they are improving it in some way where they get so you see like how what they are understanding, what where they're reaching their strengths in this case, and then like do like surveys or formal assessments just to see like okay if the student needs help on this specific content, I will give them a little more resources, a little bit more one just to help them understand a little bit more better on how to improve from it. It is more like a collective where it was not getting a separate concept that we go over as a class. We can learn how to where we can make it a little more understanding to where everyone understands the concept a little bit better. Also giving them a little more data disposition to where students feel a little more understanding idea of where they need to go in the courses, but also understanding like for me as a teacher, making sure students are understanding these concepts, make sure they give what they need to help them improve and succeed in the classroom, and so that way they can graduate, do what they need to do, and achieve their goals. So my expectation for myself as a teacher is basically a few. So first of all, I have to motivate my students. I have to make sure my students are successful. No one have to share successful. Like they have to be able to be. I have to be able to motivate them in a way where they're like no matter what they do or feel like there's something going on in their mind, just still be able to motivate them. Just tell them like try to tell them like even if they don't do well on tests or tests, like always tell them like unless you try your best, that's all I want you to do. Do your best on these things, and we're gonna have to improve them in this case. He's lay it on or try to do it as throughout the course in this case. And now I want to make sure I be able to share my knowledge in math. Like I said, the whole reason to be a teacher is be able to teach math, be able to show them how to do math, but also show them how I did math in a certain way, and be able to see how they would do it and do it in their own style of way in this case. So be able to give them various ways, but I would do it in various ways how they would do it in this case. Yes. And then I wanted to make sure if we're going over certain concepts, make sure it's relevant to them. So make sure it's student centered, but also cultural relevance, where it's that more critical thinking, but like give them more idea, relating them to some certain topics or issues that go on in their society, or just like stuff that kind of links them as it as as a collective whole in this case for students in this case. Case case things. Also, try being a role model for students is another thing I want to be especially like make sure giving them advice, make sure showing them be professional in the right body, but also be a voice in their information of their future goals or how they want to start in the coursework, and then help them prepare for like those bigger steps like legit career pathway, interview prep, or just like college prep to make sure like they're ready for that next big lead. Okay, now I'm going to talk about my expectations for my students. My expectations for my students would be to A, respect each other in the classroom. Like you have to be able to respect each other in this case, but understand like you gotta be open to where those volatile situations will happen where you might not feel comfortable with hearing other people's opinions, beliefs, or what's going on. But you gotta respect them and be able to understand like this is what they're going through in this case. You should not be discriminated or just telling them like you don't understand or you can't like what they're doing. Hey, it's based on it's their background, their name. You cannot change it. So like be respectful to your fellow peer is one thing I will have to tell my students in this case. Another thing is to be able to have an open mind when it comes to learning. Like you do not want to come to classroom and not feel like I'm not ready to learn. I don't feel like learning today. Like no, you came to school. You want to learn something. Let's just open your mind and see like what do you want to learn today. And feel like how can we build that further on to where we have able to build that easy relationship to where we can establish that equity that there's equity in the equity community in our classrooms. And students should be able to try their best on any of the sides. Like it doesn't matter if you have to be perfect or like you don't understand. Trying something is basically saying like you making an attempt Alright, it is not the best. We can all go back to try it prudently on, or just like let's focus on where you're struggling, and then like let's proceed on, and then let's work on together, or just like one on one in this case. I definitely will tell my students this. They have to be on time for class, and they have this is where time management will come in place because especially with jobs and business, they have to expect punctuality, and they are going to be concentrated in your line. Like say if they're going to be targets and stuff, there's consequences for everything, especially if you're not punctual in a classroom or punctual in a job, and making sure students bring materials class every have something learn something new every day. Cause like as long as the students be able to bring their materials, especially if they have to ask, say I won't be classmate or just ask me like I need something. I will always was offline and London, but they always need to make sure they're bringing like especially like the major stuff that's going to be in from the classroom. To bring in the class every day, and then like be ready to be able to have learn something new every day and be able to reflect on every day every once you leave the classroom. So the next question is who holds the authority of power in the classroom? And that's the presentation question. That's the teacher. The teacher has the authority and the power in the classes to help make sure the students are understanding see how to run the class, but also how to manage student behavior, the academic outcomes, motivation, and learning bias. Teachers should not be able to use these powers to use it for their own free will, especially if they use it for own music students make the environment harmful for students and basically and then try to be buddy. That's never you want to do in to like pressure. You always should have the mind to you have to respect your students as students and you have to respect yourself as a teacher. At the end of the day. Now there's certain things a teacher can give students a little bit of power a little free like design on the group members. Like picking topics or projects or resources or presenting information in their own presentation or learning styles, but you never want to get them too much power where they will be disrupted in the classroom and then you will be becoming coming in, a persistent enabler. Basically just letting them do what they want and you really don't know how to control it where you can't, without a value. Well, you already set a value, but you're not being strict in this case. And as a teacher, we are going to be role models. So like we have to set this up with these students, like how to get act progression in the right and guide them in the right direction, or it hopefully being something successful in the future. Now, what my the next question is, what do I aspire? I'd say, let me phrase it. What do I aspire to start or change about the current state of the education in my city in this case? Now, coming from Louisiana, it's the same thing, kind of like in Texas, but like it's a little different in this case. Because Louisiana, it's a little more structured because you got schools in more where those in low income poverty states are having more problems to be more resources than the higher say schools be a little bit separated based on what the culture the setting is in this case, and then Dixon like the whole where students are not graduating on time or not getting their degrees in this case. So the first thing I would bitch is that segregation issue, especially in Dallas area where students are being separated because of certain issues like maybe like the background, the race issue, or just like anything that's related to their own identity. Because like the whole point is schools like want to make sure students are able to attend and a safe and learning environment in the case. And I can pull this back from, from the state of Texas teacher works equity because they say the Texas economy wants to refund digital, wants to fund digital to help obtain the resources to make their schools equitable for students and to provide their students the support and resources to help in the classroom. You know, another thing I want to try to do is improve graduation rate because there's you cannot let the students either leave school feel like they have to completely straight schools or just not reaching the private school like because like you don't want them having the issue of they can't go in the higher ranking job fields where now they have to live for low skill low income jobs that's not reaching what they want to do as careers in this case and I can pull this the data from the seat of Dallas, which the Dallas activity in cares measure change towards greater of Dallas, and they find that more Hispanic adults probably in their 26 and 42 age range feel are more likely not to receive their diplomas than white adults in that same area, and there's more a dispute between what happened in 2018 and 2019 where there's a particular 3.7 where it got a little bit more worse to where now the even the percentage had dropped a little, it's not changing there. So like there's still more Asian Hispanics not getting the funds at a higher rate than whites, blacks, or any Asians getting their loans at a faster rate. Right. And then the last one is try put negative concentrations on the groups of students in schools that makes them feel like uncomfortable in schools are more, playing school set to. Because like I say, again, for me, from Louisiana, we all have concentrations like not dressing properly, having earbuds, being late to schools. Like they're always concentrating actions, but like sticking out main groups of students, especially students of color, is always the issue in this case. Hey, because according to state attention to children, they say the students are affected are disproportionately black and male affected students even as a young as pre-K. A recent study by Texas of police showed there is that in elementary school, boys are sometimes more likely to be thinner than girls, and black students accounting for 42% of out of school suspension, although they make up the 30%. So it kind of seems like it is still an issue where black students are more easily more that concentration say in state. And I think it's the same thing for girls, but at different percentage wise in this case. So it's still kind of targeting more on the black male, black or more black student wise community in this case. So these are probably the three I want more focus on trying to change and to disrupt this issue where health non-benefits the stuff going on in Dallas, but also kind of what I can also bring back to Louisiana when, especially in Dallas when the time comes. Hey, and the last question for this is what I see discuss contribute to my thoughts about identity and the pedagogy. So basically, so basically, from my experience was going through LSU, it basically from up to now. I have kind of idea how each thing, including like the pedagogy and then like the idea works in the case. So like, especially with learning styles, basically, because like you basically like every student come from different learning styles. Because I come from the learning style because like I can't say this because like I need to see information on it to sub or in just understand what was discussed. It was discussed, and then instead I pretty much more so like you can see my hands moving. So yeah, I kind of more in the case of it is pretty much we're gonna be a case where I understand like every student in my class we're gonna have that same issue in this case. And then for the pedagogical approaches, there are six types of serious like construction issue like structuring like I have to make sure like for me as a teacher, make sure like I make it to where students are more involved in the learning in this case, but also understand it a little bit better. And then like for inquiry based, this is where blue test on me comes in the thing. Like be able to make sure that my students are reaching those levels, key levels in this case, of like from remembering up to creative, they have to reach those certain standards or move up to where they could do it in this case. Hey, and it's a crash pretty much first I had to make sure they're getting more open end questions to my students than close in because like they want I need them to be thinking more in a critical set in this case. And then integrate really just bringing anything from side it is where culture in where the culturality comes in and bringing those key issues or view ideas into society and integrate in more intellectual based area to where we can build more in our policy area, where we can each figure out solutions on tackling these issues in this case. And then the last thing is reflective. Basically, you want students to reflect on what they learn and how they can use what they learn to help them in what they learn. Basically learn what they learn, but also how they can help bring back to their society in this case. And then, like the three phrases I would go have to be able to learn how to use is basically one, making their learning experience culturally related to the students, because like especially from learning from Dr. Wesley from the math and literacy class, like there are five processes we had to use to make it more culturally relevant in this case, like making more concessions to students, leverage their voices, fight for justice, helping us understand the concept of work there, and then like bringing more human experience for them to learn in this case. It is pretty much more the idea of we can build that more idea of critical consciousness where it by introducing in that curriculum, it helps my students to consider their interaction with peers as well as their work outside the classroom. Students begin to consider ideas around injustice and impact not only themselves but others as well. In this, the learning experience offers students the freedom of explore to explore, create, and transform ideas of how they can take social action from the of the community in which they sits in the engagement. Students are empowered to transfer these ideas and beliefs to the other cultural community on their own, own freedom to improve upon their academic performance. And this is from the character starts article about what is critical concepts. The next article is going to talk about a little bit also briefly is the research article on community as critical partners in teacher education and the impact of community immersions of teacher candidates understand the self of teacher in every schools by Jennifer Walden. And this is pretty much more on a case study of how they can bring that community experience into every focus education program, but see how that help push more on reflecting a critical conscience on the teacher side. It also considering how personal experience can influence on how helping teachers, especially the programs focus more on the student teachers in this case on self-identification, but also like understanding their identity as a teacher in their urban school communities. And the same thing we're doing today. Then like the summer institutions, they have three main things: campus-based experience, community-based experience, and community internship. So like being here on campus, we are learning how to understand a little more, explore more ideas, explore more about who we are, or and then like develop it to where we can be teachers in this case, and then the community base where we start going into more of these communities and learn about these cultures, like getting involved, helping out the community, like get more the idea of the demographic of how these communities work together, how can we influence their culture, like the historic context of what they like in of these communities there are less in this case, and then like for us to be start placing our placing schools soon is the idea of community internship, like how we're going to be able to work in these communities, especially in these places schools, how we're going to help shape our students understand these ideas and what their and how they can help their communities. And also for their that aspect, it's just basically just be aware of their own ideas. Just be aware like we all have like that's bias issues coming through. So like be aware I said that we had our own biases, we had our own issues to go through. So like be aware of all of this helping to clear those misconceptions we always have. And then be aware of prejudice. Like we all have our own prejudice. Not every culture or every person will have this just because they come from different backgrounds. Not everything be free like we have here today. So like be able to we got to understand like prejudice is something we can give, but something it can be taken from some us, and then reflecting on our own self and our own others' perspective, just be able to reflect our own ideas, but our own ideas, but also our own perspective on certain things, especially in like exploring different cultures, different dress, and definitely more ideas of idea, more history or background in this case. Another question I have to hear because this is from the law. Let's focus on more on build that relationship in the classroom, so just like building more of that classroom management skills, like using like intensive grammar to get students get their lesson, use the like research your classroom to where you can do small groups or large groups, or do like this or debate types in this situation. Use crucial conversation to get students to talk a little more about students, yeah, more students students ideas, but also like understand like more about ideas, more about what students are going through. Just like be able to open the floor to those students to understand a little more about background in this case, and then like using like MVBT, so I'll talk or try to talk to just being able to do like the translate all that in the classroom, and then like use the survey just to figure out what the you students like and don't like in the like, and that might be a good way to understand a little more in their health. And the last part is just build a strong relationship with students, parents, and community. Yeah, because like you have to be able to build your students in the classroom. You have to be able to work with your parents outside the classroom, and then like understand the community you're working in. and including where your students are living in this case to where you can build those relationships in this case in the more. And this was coming from the community walls of the for schools. So this schools. So basically article. So basically just explain as I read this article I learned that they did like a little bit more like a community walk where students in education get to talk to with their parents and students families just join in all that. The students go in and learn more about the culture say, but also kind of like getting their education. So like they will read the book a little bit about the grandma Civil War. What they were sharing more information about the district groups in grandma, like they were broken into groups, like each person had a task. So like one person did like the pregnancy teen pregnancy during that time period. The second person did more before, and the other person talked about more like the recent or the family dynamic and migration story, all that. And once they're done with their studies, that they have like the students, the family, and the teachers go out explore more of their community, like I head to like a place called Prague and more about what the grandma lifestyle or just like the grandma culture in this case, and like the religion background, the more diverse stabilize, like learning more about where the students are going through, more like more I say more their community are going through in this case. Yes. So I think it's more as education we have to be more aware, but also be more still be open to these ideas as time goes on, but also understand understand like understand that we have our own backwards to play here, but also understand understand like identity and pedagogy have to be in line to where we can understand our students a little better here, but understand a little bit more about ourselves as teachers today. Yeah. And I believe that will be the last question for this assignment. So hope you got a chance to understand my identity as a teacher, but also got a little bit more understanding on my background as a teacher who is going to come in from disability, but also like the struggles of trying to communicate community with study all that, but also try benefit is something where more of my teaching, but understand a little more identity and these practices to help benefit my classroom in this case. So I hope enjoy and I hope you have a nice day. Thank you.